for someone who spent the last few decades trying to recover from being gaslit.
Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going to talk about The Prodigal Son, but this time we're focusing especially on the cast off camera, and more importantly, we're going to be focusing on the cast's money because these guys are a lot richer than you might think. If you're interested in finding out just how rich they are and what exactly their net worth is, then stick around. First of all, make sure that you subscribe to our channel before we get started, and don't forget to hit that post notification bell so that way you never miss another update from us. Now, let's dive in by talking a little bit about what The Prodigal Son is all about. What is The Prodigal Son? Well, Prodigal Son follows the story of our protagonist, Malcolm Bright, an NYPD detective and former FBI profiler. Malcolm Bright has spent his life plagued by the childhood drama of discovering his father is a prolific serial killer, and has carried that trauma with him well into adulthood. After witnessing his father committing one of these crimes and almost being subjected to the same ill fate as the victims, Malcolm has become haunted by not only night terrors, but the overbearing fear that he too will end up just like his father. Things only begin to escalate further when Malcolm ends up needing to turn to his degenerate father to help him when his very own copycat killer crops up and begins slaughtering people. The father and son duo must then begin working together in order to solve the case before it's too late. On top of it all, they have to tirelessly struggle through the strings and torment of their own haggarded relationship. Pretty intriguing, right? Overall, Prodigal Son is a fantastic show, but what makes it truly gripping is not only the plot, but its stellar cast. The show has some brilliant characters written in that are all made the more fantastic by some of the portrayals done by the actors. We're going to be taking a look at the stars that make up the show today and having a look at just how much money these guys make. Thomas Payne as Malcolm Bright. Payne is definitely the star of the show, and we're not just saying that because he plays the lead character. His portrayal of Malcolm Bright is truly gripping throughout Prodigal Son, and it really gives the show an immersive and chilling quality that leaves us begging for more. Outside of Prodigal Son, you may know Thomas Payne for his role as Jesus in AMC's The Walking Dead or from BBC's Waterloo Road. The English actor has made a name for himself by giving some worthy performances throughout his acting career, and in doing so has ended up earning himself quite the net worth. As of 2021, Payne's net worth stands at just a little over $5.6 million, which is pretty impressive considering how few major roles he's actually had. That just goes to show that he spent a lot of time working up to where he is today, and in countless small roles too. Michael Sheen. Alongside Payne, Michael Sheen is one of the two stars that carry Prodigal Son on their shoulders. His portrayal of Martin Whitley is truly terrifying and incredibly addictive, along as humorous to watch. The unhinged but mesmerizing Martin Whitley is clearly inspired by none other than Anthony Hopkins' Hannibal Lecter. This inspiration is delivered in such an outstanding performance, it manages to both pay homage to the original Psycho Killer whilst giving Whitley an original twist. Prodigal Son aside, Sheen has made a wealth of different roles, most known for his performance in Good Omens, The Twilight Saga, Masters of Sex, and Frost Nixon. He's performed in a whole bunch of other stuff that you might recognize him from. His acting career has spanned over 3 decades, and that's included plenty of memorable roles both on screen and on stage, and they've earned him a pretty penny as well as a name for himself. Michael Sheen's net worth stands at $16 million as of 2021, which probably makes him the richest actor on Prodigal Son so far. Bellamy Young as Jessica Whitley. Bellamy Young brings Jessica Whitley's character to life on Prodigal Son, and is the sort of character that you either love or hate. Either way, you can't deny that she is important. Her character might seem tedious and irritating to some, but we would argue that she is a vital addition to the show and adds a bit of normalcy to an otherwise extremely dark plot. Bellamy Young's other performances outside of Prodigal Son are usually reserved for guest or supporting roles, but that does not mean that she doesn't deliver an outstanding performance every single time. Some other projects that you might see her in include things like Scandal, Scrubs, Criminal Minds, Mission Impossible 3, and more. Young's been acting ever since the early 90s, but also favors music and singing as well. Her net worth stands at an impressive $4 million and counting. Not too bad. Halston Sage as Aisley Whitley. Halston Sage is just 27 years old and is making a pretty impressive career for herself already. already. You might recognize her from the productions such as Bad Neighbors, Paper Towns, Before I Fall, and more. So she's got a net worth of about $3 million, which is beyond impressive considering how young the rising star is and the short period at which she's been acting. In Prodigal Son, Sage delivers a chilling and striking performance of the youngest Whitley family member. While her character is arguably one of the least likable on the show, Ainsley does Sage herself no justice. In real life, she seems like a total sweetheart as well as a fantastic actress. Her performance is gripping and consistently keeps us on the edge of our seats. If it's anything to go by, that $4 million will be doubled in no time. Dermot Mulroney as Nicholas Endicott. Dermot Mulroney brings us the slimy Nicholas Endicott on the show, and he's so good at making us hate him. Mulroney plays the powerful and extremely rich businessman, but we doubt his character's money is anything compared to what Mulroney really has in his bank. As of 2021, Mulroney's net worth is $11 million, and that puts him high on the list for the rich alongside Michael Sheen. You might know Mulroney for roles such as Shameless, My Best Friend's Wedding, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, as well as a ton of others. He's been in a whole bunch of stuff over the course of his acting career and does continue to crop up in a load of different shows, leaving us most recently with his one in Prodigal Son. Lou Diamond Phillips as Gil Arroyo. Gil Arroyo is a tough and dependable member of the NYPD department that has been a complete rock to Malcolm in his time of need. Not only does Gil manage to remain consistent and keep it together for Malcolm, but he does it for everybody else on the force. He's been more often than not the rational head that some of the other cast members need. Gil is brought to us by Lou Diamond Phillips, whom you may recognize from Young Guns, Courage Under Fire, or La Bamba. He's made similar performances in other cop shows too, like Criminal Minds, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, meaning that he's pretty suited for the role. Like Mulroney and Sheen, Lou's been acting for decades and started way back in the 1980s. However, despite having been acting on screen for long, his roles haven't been as big as the other 2 stars, meaning that he's not quite as loaded. Now, that doesn't mean that he's not rich though, because he currently has a net worth of $6 million, so not too shabby. Aurora Perrineau as Detective Danny Powell. Like Halston Sage, Perrineau is an incredibly young actress and is just 26 years old. Her age means absolutely nothing though when you consider the incredible performance that she's been giving in Prodigal Son, and it's safe to say that she's got a long career ahead of her. Other productions that Perrineau has been in, aside from The Prodigal Son, include Passengers, Truth or Dare, When They See Us, or Into the Dark. As of 2021, she's got a net worth of about $3 million, and considering her age and the fact that she's only been acting since 2011, that is an incredible amount of wealth to accumulate already. We're sure that she's going to be residing in mansions with millions in no time. Frank Hartz. Hartz gives us the portrayal of TJ Tarmel, the classic New Yorker whose job on the force means everything to him. At times brooding and a tad too direct, TJ is a good guy that's portrayed well by Frank Hartz. If you recognize Hartz, it might be from Patterson or Masters of None, but his role in Prodigal Son is his most recent to date. His net worth is about $2 million. Kiko Wajina as Adrissa Kanaka. Adrissa Kanaka is the adorable and quirky medical examiner for the NYPD who spends most of her time gawking at Malcolm when she's not busy working. She's a refreshing and humorous addition to the cast that does a lot for the force. Kiko Wajina's other notable roles outside of Prodigal Son usually include focusing on smaller supporting roles in productions such as Gilmore Girls, 13 Reasons Why, and House. Her net worth is around $300,000, and while that's probably the smallest of the cast, it's still a nice big figure. Well, that's all the time we have for folks. Don't hesitate to tell us what you think in the comment section down below, and also let us know if you're up for a part 2 or if you want to see any other videos just like this. Plus, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell so you never miss another update, and until next time guys, we'll see you later.